Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm going to be updating you on some more breaking news now is regarding Ivan Perisic. Now apparently Chelsea could come in at the final hurdle to plot a current bidding now for Ivan Perisic. Apparently now he is now a target for Conte, because Chelsea are still looking to add at least 2 or 3 or 4 players in there, well at least 2 to add into their ranks in their squad. I think they've got a 260 million spending spree. They're looking to maybe spend another 130 million pound on players. I think they've spent over 100 million pounds so far on players. But apparently Chelsea could maybe plot a bidding for Ivan Perisic, for the entirety of the transfer window. We've been interested in getting Ivan Perisic on the board, and we'll lose. Oops, where there? And we know. And we know Luis Spalletti, the current Inter Milan manager, has insisted on a few occasions. Basically, he's come out now, basically saying he basically suggested that Ivan Perisic wants to stay with Inter Milan, and we know his form's been good in the pre-season. He was fantastic last season as well, even though Inter Milan had a lacklustre campaign, and he's been at Borussia Dortmund, and he has been at Wolfsburg in the past, and he's highly experienced. He would be fantastic in Manchester United, but realistically now, with what Luis Spalletti's quoted out that he wants to stay at the club and he's happy at the club, then he may end up staying at Inter Milan. So basically, we know they had been in talks with signing Perisic a new deal. I think he's currently got 3 years on his current contract left as Perisic. And we know we've been trying to get him. We've had bids rejected for even Perisic before. News come up the other day that Ed Woodward had tried to get the deal finalised. The agents of Perisic had met up with Ed Woodward to try and finalise a deal. Apparently we were probably preparing to meet the £48 million, which Damasio had announced. That £48 million. Damasio had even announced before that it was all over, and this is Luis Spalletti said before, can't keep him against his own will, but then he rebuffed it again, saying there were no further negotiations or discussions going on between the two clubs, and that which there has still been negotiations going on, as I said, with the agent and Ed Woodward to try and get a deal finalised for Perisic. But they've tried including Martial as part of the deal. They've tempted Martial a couple of times. Mourinho doesn't want to offload Antonio Martial because we know he has failed to replicate that form under Van Gaal. I think he's been at Old Trafford 2 seasons. He's now coming into his 3rd season at the club. He didn't play in the Super Cup, didn't play against West Ham, but come on as a sub and got his name on the score sheet, which is fantastic. He's growing, he's going to grow, he's going to develop into his game. He is still only 21, so he does still need to dramatically improve on his games, Antonio Martial, and we know, with the situation with Tottenham still wanting, because it broke out the other day that French had reported and the journalist had confirmed that Tottenham had an interest in the player. They had made an approach for the player, but it didn't really say in the region of an initial fee that had come out. I didn't really see the initial fee that they'd apparently maybe offered the player, but apparently they had made an approach for Antonio Martial. But for Tottenham, it would be a good, fantastic signing for them if they were to get him, because the last very, very good sign they got was Van der Vaart before. But Tottenham have been interested in the current player. Mourinho's not willing to sanction him off. We did buy him from Monaco in 2015 for an initial 36 million plus add-ons as well. He has won the Golden Boy before. He has won the Player of the Month before and got the goal of the season. And I think that was that goal against Liverpool. At Manchester United, he's still got time to develop himself. He's playing amongst good players. He may not be getting the starts that he wants because he did fail to replicate that form. He hasn't had much starts under Mourinho. He has underperformed in some games, but I think in pre-season he has really, really played fantastic as Antonio Martial. And he's still a very, very good player, is Martial. Still needs to improve on his game, but we are not willing to let him go whatsoever. Mourinho doesn't want to let the player go. As I did say, what was I saying? Whether would he maybe consider it if Tottenham maybe were willing to offer Danny Rose as part of for Martial to go to Tottenham, and Danny Rose comes to Manchester United? Would Mourinho maybe want to sanction Martial off then if Tottenham are willing to offer Danny Rose maybe as part of the deal, as I did say? But we'll see. As I did say with the Danny Rose situation, I think it's all sorted out now anyway. He's not being satisfied with the wages he's been receiving. 65,000. Well, he's on 65,000. He wanted an increase. But Danny Rose, fantastic for him the last couple of years. He has been injured. 21 appearances last season, and he signed a 5-year contract before, and he said, I think he's got 4 years left now, and he said, this is one big contract left in me. He says, I don't want to play for 15 years, football 15 years without one trophy or one medal, and this is what he suggested all in the interview, and he was recommending Tottenham to get players into their team. This is what he was recommending, because he said they need to make some world-class signings. And this is what I basically said, and I think the Tottenham players are still unhappy with their financial situation. He just said he feels as though we're underpaid. He wants to be paid what he's worth, and Danny Rose will make sure of that. But anyway, the apologies were made. Everything was sorted out. Pochettino accepted the apologies. I think he got fined 2 weeks' worth of wages for him criticising the club in the interview, and he has said sorry. He basically said he was sorry to the manager, sorry to the fans, sorry to the teammates and everything, and it's all been sorted out now anyway. But Tottenham are convinced they can keep Danny Rose on the board. As much as I'd love him, because he is a fantastic player, he's Danny Rose, you know, and he's been in the PFA, he's done well for the PFA, I think, as well. Very, very good player, Danny Rose. I do highly rate him, but and he's still only young, so he's, well, kind of, but he's still got time to elevate himself to a higher level. Basically, he just wants honours, but this is why he wants Tottenham to make world-class signings, because they're the only team that haven't made a significant signing out of the top teams yet. So we know Tottenham are looking into players as well. So as I updated you earlier with Davinson Sanchez, Tottenham are interested in that player. Apparently, they were going to be holding talks, whether they have or not, I don't know. Tottenham were going to be holding talks with Ajax over getting him on the board, Davinson Sanchez. It was reported of initial fee of around about £35 million Tottenham are planning to plot a bidding for. He's a player that won the Dutch Player of the Season last season. I think he basically signed a 5-year contract. I think they bought him, did Ajax, from Atletico Nacionals for £4 million. He currently he missed it there for home game, did Davinson Sanchez. Ajax is also. And what else was said? And they're also, Ajax are still standing firm. They're basically willing to offer him offer him a new contract to maybe keep him at the club. But he has had talks with Pochettino as Davinson Sanchez, and he did make 32 appearances last season in all competitions, and 6 goals, and he was fantastic in the Europa League last season. He's a player that can play at centre back. So he's versatile because he can play at centre-back, he can play at right-back as well, and a few other teams have been interested in the player as well, but I think he wants to elevate to that high level. I think he wants to play in the Premier League, he wants to play Champions League football, and I don't really know much about the player, to be honest, but I know he come from Atletico Nacional, and Ajax did get him £4 million, so I think this is first season, well, what is it now? I think he's already been at the club for a year anyway, so it was last summer they did catch him £4 million. But maybe Ajax may be looking into the region of maybe £40 million for the player. But Tottenham have been interested, as I updated you earlier on Davinson Sanchez as well. And Tottenham are also confident they can sign Ross Barkley, as reports had broke out earlier. Everton did confirm that they didn't have an original fee put out for Ross Barkley, because we know he's attracted interest from teams. Ross Barkley is coming to an end of his contract. He's been offered £100,000 a week from Everton. He's not going to take it. He's Ross Barkley, but apparently he has agreed with Tottenham at £70,000 a week, so he's willing to accept the price cut. Is Ross Barkley to join Tottenham. I think he's adamant that he does want to leave the club, does Ross Barkley. But the amount of opportunities he had last season was absolutely fantastic, more than the majority of the players in the Premier League. Ross Barkley, we know he's won Young Player of the Year, Player of the Month. He's been at Leeds United, he's been at Sheffield Wednesday before, and his performances for Everton, when he's absolutely fantastic. He's Ross Barkley, and Tottenham are confident they can get him. And as Koeman's admitted, he's no longer under the club plans anymore. He's Ross Barkley, so Tottenham just basically, if they've prepared a bid, I don't know. Everton suggested they didn't receive any bids, but apparently a £70,000 a week deal has been agreed with the player. And Everton have made 7 signings anywhere. They can basically afford to offload Ross Barkley anywhere. And Tottenham are confident they can get him on the board, because he wants basically Champions League football. He feels, you know, of a player of his calibre, you know, very creative, good in the air, good physical attributes. He's good at holding on to the ball as well, and you know, he's still got time ahead of him to elevate to that higher level. And I think he's done well with Everton. I think he's been is it 3 summit years now he's been at the club? I can't really remember, Ross Barkley. But Tottenham, that could be maybe their next 2 signings in this transfer window. Davinson Sanchez and maybe Ross Barkley as well. So I'm going to read more up about that as well. But with the Perisic case, as I said, there's also been on Barcelona's radar. Hasn't been their first choice. I think he was like 3rd on their list of players they have eyed replacements out for. Neymar. Perisic has been on Barca's radar as well. But Chelsea may be willing to come in here to maybe capture him and put a bid in for the player. But he is a good creative winner, and we need that creative winner, you know. He's very comparison to other winners, is even Perisic. But either way, with as I said, with Martial, whoever's demanding Martial as part of a loan deal with another player, or maybe trying to get him off us, we're not willing to sell Antonio Martial. Even if Tottenham maybe are prepared to put a reasonable price out for him, I still don't think Mourinho will sanction him, because he does have a lot of faith in the player. So that's the thing, I'm getting my point of view across. And as I updated you guys earlier, about Mesut Ozil, that's another now possible Barcelona target. It broke out earlier on, apparently. Well, the club legend Keogh confirmed that Sanchez will be departing the club. Ozil will be following him as well, apparently. Ozil will be following him. And apparently reports had broke out earlier, apparently, that he's urged his agent as Ozil to make him the move to Barcelona. He's basically urged him to. He basically is coming to an end of his contract. He's Ozil, but Arsene Wenger is still standing firm in the situation. He's being ruthless regarding Sanchez, regarding Ozil. They will see out their deals, and then they will become free in 12 months' time. I think he wants an increase in his wage. I think, well, he's receiving £140,000 a week. I think he wants a boost in his wage. I think he wants a £225,000 a week salary wage. This is what he wants a week. Arsene Wenger, I think he's determined to offer the player this, but apparently he's refusing to sign a new deal with Arsenal. He's Mesut Ozil, we know. The current ex-Real Madrid player, he did spend, I think he spent 3 years at Real Madrid. He has been at Werder Bremen. He's been at Schalke before as well. I think Arsenal did pay 43 million for the player, was it back in 2013 or something like that? But we know Fabregas has joined Barcelona from Arsenal. We know Henry's joined Arsenal from Barcelona, and we know Alex Son has joined Arsenal. We know Alex Son has joined Barcelona from Arsenal. Sorry, my mistake. We know Thierry Henry's joined Barcelona from Arsenal, and we know who's the other one? Fabregas joined Barcelona from Arsenal as well. I did get a bit muddled up there, so I am keenly sorry about that. But yeah, so he wants an increase in his wage, does Ozil, but reports were suggesting basically that he's refusing, and basically the Spanish publication has reported basically that his agent has said he's now open to the move to Barcelona. He's Mesut Ozil, and he's another one that's coming to a current end of his contract as well with Arsenal. So he's probably an essential attacking midfielder for them, because he's quick, he's good in the air, he's good at driving forward. He's Ozil, and a very skillful player, and apparently now he's open to the move to Barcelona, because Ozil has been urging his agent to currently get this through. So this is basically what I'm saying on the matter. But anything else to update. But it's confirmed that Giroud's staying, as I said. Not cut sure with Alex Sanchez, you know, with the speculation in the last 24 to 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours, what's been going on with him. As I did say, anything else? Also, but yeah, going back to Perisic case, as I said, I think now, in my opinion, he's going to sign a new deal with Inter Milan. And I think what Luis Spalletti has said, he's happy with Inter Milan. And I do now think he's actually going to stay with Inter Milan is Perisic, because I just think that's what's going to happen. It may not, he may join another team. I just can't see him now coming to Manchester United. So I think we've got to look more in the region now to another creative winner. So that's what we've got to do, because we still have problems in that team that need to be sorted out. When with the latest news about Sergio Roberto, reports have just broke out. Apparently, Don Balance publication reported he's unhappy is Sergio Roberto at Barcelona. I think he's still fighting to get his name in the first team, but now they've just signed a player called Paulino or something like that. Plus they've got Rafinha, plus they've got Denis Suarez, plus they've got what's the other guy's name? Denis Suarez, Rafinha and Nelson Semedo as well. Plus they're looking for replacements. So it is going to be hard for him to get his name in the first team. So I think he's still fighting away. I think we are prepared to meet his 36 million release clause that the current player's got. He has 2 years left on his current contract, does Sergio Roberto. It'd be essential for us, because we may still need a midfielder even though we've got Matic, because it's essential because he can play in the midfield. He can play as a right back as well, can Sergio Roberto, and I think he may be adamant that he does want to make the move. And Barcelona can, they can will to, they can afford to offload the current player, because he's going to be he's falling down that pecking order now, and he's not going to get enough first team football. We know United are interested. We know Chelsea are interested in the current player as well, Sergio Roberto. But apparently now we are willing to meet his 36 million release clause for the player's signatures. I still think essentially we need a right back. We've got Valencia as our advanced right back. We've got Darmian still there. He has played at left back, but he's potentially a right back, isn't he? He's Darmian, in my opinion. Obviously, we've loaned out Fosu Mensah. So, yeah, potentially, yeah, we do need another right back. And it's very, very... He's a versatile player, Sergio Roberto. He'd be very, very ideal, because it's good to have a versatile player who can play in certain areas or numerous positions, which is very, very good. You know, it's the same with Fabinho in a way, isn't it? So that's what I'd like at Manchester United. But we have made 3 good signings, and they have well, I don't think Lindelof were doing very, very good in pre-season, but he didn't do good in pre-season, we'll say that, we've got to be honest, but didn't get. That's why basically he may not have got his name in the team sheet against West Ham. He may get his name in the team sheet against Swansea, but there's still time. You can't really judge someone after pre-season, but I think Matic, the other 2 signings, Matic has done fantastic in that midfield, you know, allowing Pogba to set free. Allowing Pogba set free, and I think Lukaku is doing fantastically well. He also hit form in the pre-season. He's started, you know, his Premier League debut, scoring 2 fantastic goals against West Ham, and he's going to guarantee his 20-25 goals this season as well, which is absolutely fantastic, guys. So, as I did say, everything updates all the time with reports what's going on with the transfer rumours, as I keep saying. Realistically, I can't even really comment what our next signing is going to be. It could be Sergio Roberto. Could be Sergio Roberto. I don't even know. I really don't know what our next signing really could be. I think Mourinho's keen on at least getting one more player. Could be Sergio Roberto. Could be Sergio Aurier. It could be Perisic, which does look unlikely now from what Luis Spalletti's come to. So basically for him, the negotiations had come to a conclusion. Basically, it's all over now with even Perisic. I don't know. It could be the next signing. I don't know. I think it could be either Sergio Aurier. It could be Sergio Roberto. Who else could it be? It could be. I don't know. I really can't really say, to be quite honest with you. I don't even have a clue what our next signing is going to be. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments and likes below on my channel, and take it easy. And subscribe. I want you to subscribe, drop a like as well, and I'll see you soon. Bye.